विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ शान्ति पाठ टुगेदर। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो हरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। मंत्र I'll chant, you repeat. परीक्षलोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायान्नास्त्यकृतः कृतेन तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत्। समित्पाणिश्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठम् So pariksha-lokan karmachitan. Karmachitan. Chi dhatu is generally to gather. Here to on. Karmachitan, gathered by the karmas. Earned by the karmas. Karma-phala. Karmachitan is equal to karma-phalani. And that's how, again, another word is that lokan, lokyate iti lokaha, anubhuyate iti lokaha, which is experienced. You do karma and you experience the objects which you gain as a result of karma. Pariksha. So, examining them. Examining them. All the accomplishments a person has in one's life, those accomplishments should be examined without any superimposition on my part, objectively. All those objects, if you know the value of all the objects, it's called objective value. There are two types of values. One, you superimpose extra value upon an object, that's a subjective value. Generally, we live like this. Generally, we are not directly in contact with the objects. We always contact the objects through certain superimposition from the mind. That's how everyone lives, they call it the Jiva Srushti. Seeing the objects as it is means you are seeing Ishvara. One is in hotline with the Ishvara. Then there is a comfort because there is a hotline. Yeah. If you contact the world as a jiva, there is a lot of problem. Subjective values. We want to make ourselves free because we want to see everything as a Ishvara. That's the goal. Sarvam khalu idam brahma. So that's the preparedness. Preparedness is to make yourself free from subjective value. Making oneself free from likes and dislikes. These are the goggles of likes and dislikes. Anything which I confront with, I always relate to favorable, unfavorable, good, bad, beware, like that. Beware, this person is coming, beware. It's an amazing thing. So if you remove that, well, definitely you are seeing the world as it is, means you are seeing Ishvara. What is. Yeah. Then you can achieve the goal. What? Ishvara. If you start seeing Ishvara, if you bring Ishvara in your life, then Ishvara, to achieve the goal as Ishvara, is easy. This is called qualification. If you could not see in your daily activity the hand of Ishvara, then to achieve the goal, ultimate goal as Ishvara will be difficult. Anyway, so this all is implied. Parikshalokan karmachitan. So if you analyze various objects, ultimately you find all your accomplishment or all objects of experiences, you accomplish them for purpose. You cannot put efforts without, just for the sake of efforts, I put efforts. Nobody is interested in action, by the way. Everyone is interested in result of an action. Yeah. And result of an action also I'm not interested. I'm interested in what it can give me. I want a joy. I'm basically a dissatisfied being. Displeasure is there. If you want to check whether I'm displeased with myself or not, it's a very easy test. What is the test? Be in a certain confined environment for 24 hours without even mobile and books. You cannot face yourself for more than few minutes. You will do everything else other than sitting with yourself. You will just get up, start singing song, take bath, and you want a mobile because you want to call. There is no mobile. If you are really pleased with yourself, definitely you are comfortable with yourself. Huh? Only one person in the world is comfortable with oneself because he sees himself a pleased self. That is a wise person. Atmani eva atmana tushta. A wise person sees he is comfortable. Yastvatmarati revasyat atmatruptasya manava atmani eva cha santushta tasya karyam na vidyate. This is an accomplishment in one's life. We accomplish many things in life, but I cannot be comfortable with myself. That's called samsara, that's called bondage. Self non-acceptance. Because the self which I perceive, the self which I am aware of, is a dissatisfied self. Maybe reality may be apparent, that's a different thing. But for me it is a reality. I am dissatisfied is a reality for me. That is how I want to accomplish few things. So that I those accomplishment, with association with them, I become comfortable, right? Whenever anything, object of experience you get through your actions, etc., when you experience this, momentarily the displeasure centered on oneself goes away. But then definitely again you try and all that. So this is an examination. What I have accomplished had removed displeasure centered on oneself, but not permanently. This is called pariksha. So having analyzed one's own accomplishment, one's own experiences, you can say, brahmanaha nirvedam ayat, etc. One who examines and comes to a proper conclusion is called brahmana. Yeah. Brahmana is the one whose mind has a certain sattva. The disposition is sattva. If there is a sattva, then viveka would definitely take place. And that viveka is like this, that what really I love, what really I want to have in my life, and that is one thing, and what accomplishes have offered, what karmaphalas have offered, is quite another. That's a viveka. That's called nitya viveka. What I want is something nityam. That's what I value. I want happiness, which is nityam. Sir, I will make you happy for 2 moments. No, sir. No connection. What you gain through karma, through various activities, various actions, and you gain results of an action, and what they offer is one thing, anityam. Right? And what you really want to have, what you really value in life, what you really want to achieve is another. This kind of a thing arises based on the examination of one's own pursuits of the past. That person is called brahmana. Most of the time it doesn't arise. People keep accomplishing and more activity, till you cannot now do activity. You want to accomplish, but you don't have a strength to accomplish. That's old age. That's an old age. So pariksha lokan karmachitan, it's a big thing. People ask this question that Swamiji, Vivek, Tattvabodha, etc. mentions sadhana chatushte sampatti, 4-fold qualification for gaining knowledge. And Upanishad talks about self-knowledge, but Upanishad doesn't talk about this qualification. You must have, you have coined on your own that one requires viveka, vairagya, this. No, they are there. Pariksha lokan karmachitan indicates nitya vastu viveka. Brahmanaha nirvedam ayat. Nirvedam means vairagya, dispassion. Yeah, that's there. But then Swamiji, Vivek and Vairagya, then what about others? They are there in other Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad mention other qualifications also. Shanto, Danto, Uparatas, Titikshuhu, Bhutva, Atmaniva, Atmanam, Pashyet. Shantaha, Shamaha, Dantaha, Damaha, Uparataha, Uparamaha, Titiksha, Samahito Bhutva, Samadhanam. Atmaniva Atmanam Pashyet, etc. And other places, in another recension of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it has been mentioned. Shanto Danto Uparatas Titikshuhu Shraddha Vitto Bhutva. So Shraddha is mentioned. So all qualifications are mentioned. And therefore, this Pariksha Lokan Karmachitan is a big thing. Everyone, whoever is exposed to this Vedantic teaching, has enough experiences of the past, born of the activity the person has done, to be examined. What I want really and what they have offered. That is to be examined. We should not have more experiences to learn. We have enough experiences to learn. And still, if you are feeling that I should have more experiences, you should observe experiences of others. Yeah. From there you can learn. Sometimes you need not go to that. Others have experienced, and what they are saying and what they are doing, from there you can understand. And as such also it's not possible to go through all experiences. For a person, it is not possible. And therefore, definitely, so brahmanaha nirvedam ayat, etc. And we saw that. So one thing is there, if you want something, a permanent pleasure, joy, etc., happiness, fullness, it cannot be dependent on something. If it is dependent on something, then by coming into association with that thing, I become happy. Once it is dissociated, become sorrowful, or the happiness goes away, let's say that way. Yeah. And therefore, if it is not dependent on something, the happiness which I want is not dependent upon something, then that happiness should be independent. If it is independent, then it should be centered on yourself. Simple, right? It should be centered on oneself. Swamiji, it is dependent on oneself. That's called independence. If it is dependent on you only, it is called independence. If it is dependent on others, definitely it is not a thing which, that's what I said, what you want in your life is, and what things offered to you through karmas as a result, etc., is quite distinct. Yeah. Very natural outcome is a dispassion. And that dispassion is called a absence of a connection between absence of a connection between what you want really in your life, what you really want to accomplish in your life, and what objects offer to you. If you see the absence of a connection, that is the definition of vairagyam. Then you will have a naturally, not disgust, but not attachment also for the objects, right? You know the value of the objects, but you won't superimpose extra value on it. Extra value of deriving happiness, security, peace, etc. from the objects. That much, that subjective value you have taken away. Could you connect now? Because we defined other way 2 days ago. That's how. There is absence of connection. Anyway, and so a sattvic person, well, definitely is Brahmana, and he is able to gain this viveka through analysis. And on experiencing, our experiences are the result of basically a various karmas, right and wrong, whatever, and are keeping with the law, within the law of karma. And law of karma is same, I'm just revising a little bit, the law of karma is same for this world and for other world. And that's how you do something in this world and you experience objects in other world. That shows that the law of karma applies everywhere. Yeah, right? So, Svarga Kamaha Agnihotram Juhuyat. One would desire Svarga, wants to enjoy the objects of Svarga, accomplishment, earned by karma, karma chitan, lokan. Well, definitely it is, you do some karma here, Agnihotra, etc. And you experience there. That shows that law of karma which is applied here is applied there also. Anyway, and so a finite karma can produce a finite result. All karmas are finite. Any kind of result is going to be finite only. This is a pariksha. And that's I told you it is called Nitya-Nitya Vivekaha, which results into a dispassion for various accomplishments, various results of an action, various karmas, karma phalas, etc. So, in short, what you want to achieve through the action, through the pravritti, you are not able to achieve. What you really want to achieve, what a human heart wants to achieve, wants to have, cannot be achieved by karma. That's for sure now. Right? It is not by karma. Then there should be some other means for that. Well, that's true. So, so examination is done with the help of all the means of knowledge at one's disposal, as well as the Shastra. That is how we do. So we want, in Vedanta, we arrive at certain things, concludes certain things, well, through various means of knowledge. First is a Shruti. So basically, what we learned, that any karma will give rise to a karma phala, an accomplishment, will be anityam, will be impermanent, will be unreal also, you can say. Unreal doesn't mean that it is non-existent, because you experience. But anityam means which is there now, which will go away. Which is produced in time, which will go away. That way it is anityam. And so this you can arrive at through three things. Shastra. Shruti Vakya is there. Yatha ihya karmachito lokaha kshiyate, tatha amutraha punyachito lokaha kshiyate. So Shastra confirms that the field of experiences gained in other worlds also through punya also comes to an end. This is one. Our perception also reveals. Shastra says we confirm through our perception, anubhava. What is anubhava? Whatever the result of an action is there, well, that ends. It's anityam. Like even you do an action of eating. For what? For cessation of hunger. And it ends. But then again you become hungry. So a simple thing. That action gives rise to a result, of course, but it is anityam. So this is a perception, anubhava, I mean, your own experience. Shastra says, Shruti, your anubhava, and yukti also is there. Yukti means you can apply the logic. What is a yukti? Yadyat karma phalam tattat anityam karma phalatvat shariravat. Yadyat karma phalam, whatever is a karma phala is basically impermanent. Why? Because it is karma phala. Example, body. Body is a result of prarabdha karma, your own karma. It ends anityam. Therefore, any karma phala, any accomplishment which I earn through my activity, actions, etc., will also end. Even if I go to heaven, it will end. So this is how it is. Then let it end. Person may respond to all this our understanding that let the result be impermanent. I am happy with it. I am not interested in your eternal result. That is so when one is doing karma, definitely one is not interested in eternal result. One may not want it also because one doesn't know what it is. You can desire something if you know that it is there. If you don't know at all it is there or not, how can I desire eternal result? Therefore I am fine. You go, Swami. Yeah? And again, there is nothing else available. You are as though putting us in more problem. We don't have any choice. What we have is this karma. Let them give impermanent result, impermanent joy, but they are giving. They are giving. Why you are depriving us from that? No, sir. Well, what you, I mean, your response to this, what we said of that analysis, etc., that response is not true. You are interested in eternal thing. You are interested in eternal thing. Where it is, what it is, you may not know. That's for sure. I am interested in eternal joy, yeah. I am interested in a happiness which is eternal, yeah. Well, nobody thinks that I want to be happy temporarily. Nobody thinks. In fact, I want to be happy here and outside the hall. I want to be happy now and later. I want to be happy in this situation, and I want to be happy in other situations also. Means what? You want to be happy all the time, at all the places, under all circumstances. That's what we are telling you. You are interested in a fullness, happiness, which is permanent. That's for sure. And therefore, conclusion is you are interested. You are seeking yourself. This, Swami, I don't like. Take away this statement. I will prove it now. There is a sugar crystal, and the surgeon has fitted a human mind into the sugar crystal. As it was fitted, the sugar crystal started crying. What? I want to be sweet. I want to be sweet. Because ultimately, why are we saying like this? Because human mind means ignorance. Ignorance of objects, ignorance of oneself. That is fitted there. So the sugar crystal has become ignorant of itself, its own nature. That's how I'm saying. Now I ask a question. When sugar said, I want to be sweet, then we ask the question, do you want to be sweet now or later? No, I want to be sweet now and later. Second question, do you want to be sweet in the container, outside the container? I want to be sweet in the container, outside the container. Do you want to be sweet in association with the turmeric, chili powder, or something else? Well, I want to be sweet in association with anything. Then I said, oh dear sugar crystal, you are really seeking yourself. Unless you are sweet by nature, you cannot be sweet at all the time, at all the places, under all circumstances. If you are not sweet, then definitely you will be sweet by association with something, at a particular time, at a particular place, under a particular situation. But you want to be sweet all the time, then it is only possible that it should be your nature. Sugar, unless sugar is sweetness, sugar cannot be sweet under all circumstances. At all the time, at all places, under all situations. Could you follow? This is the situation here. I want to be happy. Here, instead of sweetness, happiness, fullness, fulfillment, wholeness. Everyone wants wholeness. No lack. No lack. No limitation. I should be aware of myself. No limitation anybody should show to me of myself. That is how the deep sleep state has become a joy. Deep sleep state. Yeah. If once you sleep, you are not aware of your limitation. Swamiji, in sleep I am non-existent. To say I am non-existent in sleep, you should be there. You are very much there. You only say after waking up that I only went at 9 o'clock to the bed. I only got up. Means you were there. You were there without limitation. You are not aware of any limitation. That opens up a big possibility. If you are intrinsically limited by nature, you cannot be even occasionally limitless. Cannot be occasionally. Yeah. If fire is intrinsically hot, it cannot be even occasionally cold. You put something, khichdi or something in a pot, and you start with open flame, etc., and it starts boiling and all that, and you are doing some other work, and you come back, and you found that this cooking pot has become very cold. Flame is on, and cooking pot is cold. Then you felt that, why? So you took your hand near that flame, and you found it's like a ice. Wow! Occasionally fire can become cold. Most of the time hot. Occasionally it becomes cold. Then I should say, well, fire by nature is not hot. Right? I can say that. If it is a nature, it cannot be even occasionally otherwise. Same way, if I occasionally become free from limitation during waking state in a moment of joy, and even in a deep sleep state, that's my experience, opens up a possibility that perhaps I'm a limited, dissatisfied, a lacking, wanting being may not be true. Please understand this. If you understand it, it's a kripa of a Dakshinamurti, I tell you. You will save your life from many, many wrong efforts, vain efforts. All our efforts are for gaining happiness. And we become happy, and again, same situation. Same situation. Again you try. Because that's your height. Once you know your height, you cannot settle for anything less. You know your height in a moment of joy that you are free. Momentarily free. Experientially free. Right? Experientially you are free at that time. Then you cannot settle. Again that smallness, etc. appears, and you feel, my God, Lord, let me do something to remove. It's unnatural to you, naturally. If it is your nature, you will be comfortable with that. Even I should not console you. Out of all the people, why you should feel happy? I should not say that. Your wrong prarabdha, something bad prarabdha, that's how you become happy. I really console that. You don't. So every human heart knows, if he's happy, fine. It is natural. If you are not happy, I will call you immediately. We know that. Unhappiness is unnatural. Sorrow is unnatural. Sense of limitation, sense of lack, sense of a want, sense of a displeasure, sense of uneasiness, that's called sorrow. Please understand, sorrow need not be positively, need not be. Need not be. This is called sorrow. A general sense of displeasure, uneasiness centered on I continues. That goes away only when you get a joy. In a moment of joy, you shade off that. That's how a general self-non-acceptance continues. Everyone knows I'm individual, I'm a limited being. That way, it continues. And so, basically, my experience reveals, right, that perhaps I am free from limitation. It's a possibility. Yeah. Anyway, so if I'm intrinsically a dissatisfied person, then I can't feel satisfaction occasionally also. But I do. And so our experiences then really give rise to this understanding, leading to this viveka. What is the viveka? Well, that, what I did in my life till today is continuing to search satisfaction, happiness, joy through my activity, through the experiences. Well, perhaps it's a misplaced search. Perhaps it's a misplaced search. And so there is seeking on the part of this individual, but it is a wrong seeking, at a wrong place, I mean. So one can't say I'm seeking here because this is the only place I can search. One person was searching a golden ring in the street. And his friend came and said, "What are you searching?" He said, "I lost my ring." "Where did you lose?" He said, "In the home." "Then why don't you search there? Why are you searching here?" But no, there is darkness there. Here there is a light. This is what it is. Searching fullness, where? Through my activity. Where is the fullness? There. On Bahamas. I'm just telling you. There. If it is there, after 10 days, you feel it is enough here. You come home, open the lock, and you enter, you feel, and you say to your husband, "Oh, there is nothing like our home." You are at home, entering into home. That's how I think expression at home. Right? If it is there, then it's fine, then you be there. No. It's all projection. Subjective value imposed upon a thing which it doesn't carry, poor thing. That's how after that, spending thousands of dollars, you return. To place, to object, we'll be talking to that. How I am Sachidananda, then I will talk about that. So this is how, well, definitely, so one can't say I'm seeking somewhere because, well, that is the only place available. Therefore, so definitely this, anyway. And so satisfaction, basically, I mean, one has to search where the sense of satisfaction is. That's a place you have to search. Sense of satisfaction is where? On I. That is where you have to search. And therefore, satisfaction also is not an object of experience. It is just being oneself. Yeah. And so either one is satisfied or dissatisfied. Satisfaction is also centered on I. Dissatisfaction also centered on I. Swamiji, both cannot be. Opposite things cannot be at one place. Simultaneously cannot be there. Therefore, one of them can be wrong. One of them can be wrong. Well, definitely a sense of dissatisfaction is really a notion. Is a notion born of self-ignorance. I am limited being is a notion, etc. Is apparent thing. Anyway, so satisfaction is centered on I, even as dissatisfaction is, and so I alone has to have a satisfaction. And purpose of living is this. Purpose of living is to live with a satisfaction. That's what it is. We are living and achieving things ultimately to get satisfaction. And so the purpose of this power, fame, name, etc., well, basically is to nourish the ego actually, to nourish the individual. But you must know that you are fine without all these things, because by nature you are fullness, right? You are certain. And therefore, so this is called moksha then. One learns through Vedanta that I am of the nature of satisfaction, fullness. Then you have a freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from seeking. Seeking what? Satisfaction. That's moksha. I'm giving you various ways of looking at moksha. Because satisfaction comes from, you said freedom from bondage that time. It's the same thing. Could you follow what I'm saying? Yeah. Moksha means what? Freedom from seeking. Seeking what? Seeking satisfaction. Seeking satisfaction. It has started with what? Pariksha lokan karmachitan. Having examined all my accomplishment earned through the karmas, etc. which has not given me a satisfaction which I want, permanent satisfaction which I want, well, all this it has not given, etc. Anyway, so our experiences point out definitely that the notion I am dissatisfied perhaps, or that idea that I am dissatisfied is perhaps wrong. And then I am the solution. How will I get that perhaps the satisfaction is of the nature of oneself, fullness is the nature of oneself, happiness is the nature of oneself? How will I know? That is where punyam. You are on the airport and you are searching because flight is late. So what to do? And you have a hobby of reading, but you haven't brought book. And there is a bookstore. You go there and you find a book. The problem is you, the solution is you, by Swami Dayananda. Wow, you pick up. Happened, you may ask, then some person may have that story. You just come across something like this. Or some advertisement in newspaper, so-and-so Swami is visiting. And then there is a lecture on this, etc. Problem is you, solution is something. And you've thought, okay, I think evening I have some time, let me go. All this looks accident. It's not accident. There is no accident here in this world. There is everything cause-effect. Your own grace is fructifying. So this is general knowledge. Oh, I am the problem, I am the solution. I am dissatisfied, thought solution is outside. This Swami says, well, the problem is this, your own notion that you are dissatisfied. Solution is what? To discover that I am satisfaction, I am fullness, etc. So this is what the thing is. Anyway, so, and as such also, if further, without depending on any situation, if I have to be satisfied, then that satisfaction should be my nature. One. And the second thing is, well, definitely, I do find myself a dissatisfied person regardless of situation, regardless of maneuvering situations. I remain dissatisfied. Therefore, solution may not be lying outside. Solution is lying here in the subject. In the subject there is a solution. Subject is a solution. I am the solution, yeah. But I don't find that I am a satisfied person, I am happiness, etc. Could be a self-ignorance. Yeah. This is ignorance. If you are the solution, still you find yourself a problem, then definitely you should solve by removing the ignorance. This could be an apparent thing. I am dissatisfied, may be an apparent thing. I am satisfaction, that may be the reality. That's what it is. And then definitely, as you are ready for this, then what? Teacher comes with a bell and says, I am ready. Come. You expose yourself to teaching. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva vigachet shrutriyam samitpanihi brahmanishtham, etc. Anyway, before that we have something is left over. And so, one is, therefore there is a possibility of ignorance. Now, little bit discussion on that, a little technical discussion, but I am taking it. So one is born ignorant. Ignorance is there, that's for sure. Ignorance of the subject and object both. And one keeps on shading ignorance about objects. And whatever knowledge one has is only about objects, meaning anything that I can objectify, that I know. This includes even psychology also, because definitely even I observe my own mind, it's an object. And therefore psychology also is a knowledge of object. So if someone is ignorant about the subject, well, definitely originally, from the beginning, then that ignorance could not go like that. So one has to gain the opposite of it. One has to gain self-knowledge in order to remove the self-ignorance. And so the desire to be, well, basically free from this seeking, etc., is converted into desire to know. Right? Ultimately, my desire is desire for freedom freedom from the very seeking the happiness, etc. That mumuksha is converted into the desire to know oneself. That could only go by this knowledge, because the issue is of a self-ignorance. And so, in the beginning, there will be a lukewarm mumuksha. Lukewarm. Sometimes, some camp, somewhere. Okay, shall we go? We have some holidays. Yeah, let's see what is there. Arshavidya. What Arshavidya offers. Yeah, lukewarm. It's interesting, they say, they talk each other. It's quite interesting, quite logical, convincing. Okay, we'll go. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. This is how it starts. The journey of a Vedantic seeker starts like this. Lukewarm mumuksha. Slowly becomes tivra mumuksha. More exposure to this, more you discover the nature of problem. Yeah. More you discover the nature of problem through the help of teacher, more you analyze your accomplishment and everything, more your mind turns away. Right? That's a turning away is called vairagya. Things are there, no disgust, but you come to know now that really they could not fulfill certain promises. Yeah. Then you turn away. More you turn away, more now the jignasa definitely arises and becomes stronger. The desire for a moksha is directly proportional. You used to learn, right? It's directly proportional to your viveka and vairagya. More the viveka and vairagya, more the mumuksha. And more ultimately results into jignasa. Knowing oneself is the solution. There is no other solution for gaining freedom from this seeking fullness. Getting rid of bondage. You can say anyway, whatever the way you want to say. You want to make yourself free from the bondage, limitations, wants, lack, and gain freedom. Same thing. Clear? So this is what it is. So then definitely, as I told you, the desire for knowledge, etc. Is not there in lukewarm moksha, etc. And question arises in a seeker's mind is this. That, well, in a person's mind, this kind of question arises. I'm interested in moksha, freedom, etc. Why should, and it is centered on I, why should I look there in the books? Right? I want to be free. Why should I look here externally? Anyway, and so even though, then answer we give is, even though the Shastra is external, means of knowledge is external, but the I is not external, not internal. The Atma is not external, not internal. What is external also is an object for the Atma, because you objectify. What is internal also you objectify. It's not subject. Internally also you objectify, definitely. What is internal? Internal is parts of gross body. That's all object. No, Swamiji, we don't talk about it. What is internal? What is internal? Mind. Mind is object. You know your mind? So I is something which is not external, not internal. Atma is not external or internal. If Atma is internal, that Atma can never be Brahman. Because internal. Chota, internal. If Atma is external, then it is not Atma, it is Anatma. In fact, what is external and internal, both is Anatma only. It's an object of yourself, object of your knowledge. And therefore, I is something which is not external, internal. And so, well, definitely this, the Shastra basically is in form of words, and it has to come from outside. And when one looks into the Shastra, well, definitely one is surrendering to a means of knowledge and letting the means of knowledge operate upon oneself. I will give you another example. Let us forget about Shastra, which is a means of knowledge, of knowing oneself. Keep it aside. You look at your sense organs, where definitely when to see an object, you open your eyes. Opening the eyelids is definitely an action, is based on your will. You may open, you may not open. But once you open your eyes, an object is there, and the seeing takes place, in that there is no will involved. You cannot choose. Suppose object is this, and you open your eyes, that's in your hand. Once you open eyes and the object, your eyes come in contact with that, then knowledge definitely which takes place is not based on your choice. If you choose, well, this object, whatever it is, I should know this object as a mango, etc. It's not in your hand. Could you follow what I'm saying? Same thing with the ears also. To hear the words of the two people talking in one corner. They are talking, and you want to know. So you exercise your will. You put your whole weight there on one ear. And, that is in your hand. But once your ear is there, and the word starts, coming to your ear, then you don't have a choice. Those words should be words of my praise. Need not be. They may be gossiping about you. Right? There is no choice. So it seems that in a doing action, a will is involved. When the knowledge takes place, no will is involved. Could you follow? Before operating the means of knowledge, definitely will is involved. Once you operate a means of knowledge, then definitely knowledge only takes place when your will does not interfere. You want to hear, well, basically words of praise. But really what is there? They are gossiping about you, criticizing you, whatever. That's a reality. No, Swamiji, I am hearing my words of praise. Then it is your error. It's your notion. What they are talking is different. There is no knowledge. It's a Brahma, not Prama. We call Brahma. So it seems there are two types of results. So one thing is definitely, and it is we called a result where the will is retained, and other is the result where the will is suspended. Well, so knowledge we always call as a vastu tantram. Tantram means centered. Centered on the object, knowledge takes place. Karma is something which is kartru tantram. So centered on one's will, action takes place, etc. So if it is a flower, so as the object is, so the knowledge of the object is. As the object is, so the knowledge of the object is. As the object is and the knowledge of object is something else, then it is Brahma, not Brahma. Right? So this is how it is. So if it is a flower, then one's perception should lead to knowledge of the flower only. So knowledge is exactly like the object perceived. If the object of knowledge in one's head is one thing, and the object outside, revealed by pramana, is different actually, then we say there is some defect in the means of knowledge. So here also with regards to Atma, something like this has happened. Shastra, the pramana, reveals the Atma as Brahman, free from kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam, etc. And that is one, ekameva dvitiyam, one without second. That's how Shastra reveals. But different philosophers take that differently. Someone says Atma is many. Someone says Atma is one and many. Someone says Atma is karta, the doer, the subject behind all actions. Someone says Atma is bhokta, experiencer, not karta. Someone says Atma is karta, bhokta. All based on definitely one's own conclusion, which is not talked about, which is not talked by the Shastra at all. Could you follow? Anyway, and therefore, so everything, when the pramana is in operation, well, and if you see something else, if you know something else, conclude something else, there is some defect in instruments of knowledge. So Shastra basically has got to be understood to convey exactly the same meaning that it wants to convey. Then how will I know that what Shastra says and what I understand is one thing alone? Right? That is where the role of a teacher. And what is required on your part is Shraddha. Shraddha to the pramana. You acknowledge that the means of knowledge, you acknowledge the validity of the means of knowledge. Generally we don't. You may say Shastra is all right, but Shastra never talks to me. One who talks to me is a person. Yeah. And that's how we generally feel that Shastra is all right, but the one who talks maybe has some axe to grind. Yeah. Therefore, Shraddha, the definition of Shraddha involves a Shraddha for the Shastra, also for the person. Right? That's how it is. So Shraddha means Shat. Shat means Satyam. Dha means Dharanam. This is true. That kind of a attitude towards a means of knowledge, which includes the scripture, the Shastra, and the teacher together. That what he says is based on Shastra, and therefore Shastra is Satyam as well as the teacher also is Satyam. That's how, what is that? Shastra Guru Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Shraddha. That's how Tattvabodha defined. Shastra Guru Vakyeshu Shastra Guru Vakyeshu Satya Buddhi. That is Shraddha. So acknowledging the validity, they are valid. The words of the Shastra and the words of teacher are not different. Yeah. Because once Shastra talks to you directly, it doesn't convey anything. That's how people read translations of the things and they don't get anything, really. They don't get anything. Definitely what the role of teacher is, it talks about Shastra but creates a context in which a given meaning of a word, what it wants to convey, that meaning of word is really conveyed. Yeah. Word Satyam you know very well. Satyam means truth also you know very well. But that Satyam is you. Shastra says Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, that's fine. But that is me. I am Satyam? I don't think so. And Satyam means truth. Truth means truth in the words. Or any given thing is called Satyam because it exists now. What exists now, which you experience, you call it Satyam. That's how Jagat is Satyam for everyone. Because it is there. You experience. Therefore it is Satyam. This is how we understand Satyam. But Satyam means something self. Well, then teacher has to create a context. And in that context, definitely, teacher conveys the same word, meaning of the word, which you understand in a one way, but will be conveyed to you as a nature of yourself. Well, word Satyam means it is made from the As dhatu. As means to be, to exist. And therefore, all other meanings you drop, because what exists now goes away. And therefore, the existence of the entire world is not basically permanent. Therefore, Satyam word is taken along with that Anantam, limitless existence. Oh, limitless existence, then my understanding of Satyam is objects right now. They don't have a limitless existence. They are born and they will go away. Wow. Therefore, teacher creates a context and make you see the direct meaning of word Satyam to be dropped. And then says, just take the root meaning of word Satyam. Root is asthatu, to be, to exist. Means what really exists, what's the nature of existence? And that is basically Jnanam, that is consciousness. That is Atma. Atma is of the nature of existence. What is Jnanam? Is Satyam. What? That is Anantam, that is limitless, etc. So this is how basically teacher talks about the Shastra. Words only are pramana, but Shastra directly doesn't talk, goes to the teacher. Therefore, the same amount of a Shraddha is there for the teacher also. And while that Shraddha is there, then your will not interfere. He says something, but I think different. So then knowledge will not take place. When the knowledge takes place, your ahankara, ego, your will should not interfere. When your eyes are seeing, you do not interfere. Well, let me see or let me choose to see in a particular way. No. As the object is, you should see. As the Shastra reveals the nature of Atma, you should see. You cannot prefer, choose. Your will should not be in a play. Then only knowledge takes place. Pramana phalam is free from this will. Pramana phalam, pramana means means of knowledge. Phalam, result. Result of means of knowledge is knowledge. Right? Any means of knowledge you operate, what you get as a result? Knowledge. That is free from any will. So with this, we complete this much. And now small part is there, nasti akrita kritena, etc. And then tad vijnanartham, that we will see in the evening. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.